So in today's Card Academy lesson, I'm going to go over two different ideas for the easy sort of lapel pass that I put on the actual channel. I'm going to link it below. However, I'm also going to explain it just for the sake of completion, as well as the two ideas that I have that make this pass something that I'm sure you'll be using in your performance. So if you don't remember the pass was you have a card selected, and of course they could have picked any one of these cards. This isn't one of those trick deck of cards, but in that action, their card is on top of the deck. So let's go over the actual pass itself, as I did in the video, because it's simple enough. And I'm going to go over the two ideas that I think are going to make this a very, very worthwhile pass to add to your arsenal. So first things first, you spread the cards and have a card picked. In this case, we're going to have the King of Diamonds. Now, of course, in retrieving this card in the deck, you are just going to square the card up and maintain a break right there. You see that little bit of a break? That's all I'm keeping. So I'm keeping a break above the King of Diamonds in this particular case. Now, in the action of exposition, I'm going to spread the deck again this sort of way and spread it. Now, here is where the actual pass takes place. I'm going to lift up all the cards above the break and do the Stuart Gordon double. Now, the Stuart Gordon double, as we discussed in the academy, is that I'm using my thumb to run it down the length of the actual card, which in turn turns over the entire packet. Now, usually it's done with two cards, just like this. However, this time I'm doing it with the entire packet. Now, the reason I'm doing it that way is because it's a little bit more of an elegant way to turn over the packet, and it puts my thumb in the perfect position for the next action, which is a little bit of a spread. Now, let me clarify something that I don't think I mentioned in the actual video itself. I'm going to lift up all the cards above the packet. I'm going to turn this over in this sort of fancy way, and I'm going to spread the cards in a little bit of an actual fan. I'm not doing a super big fan with these cards. I'm just spreading it to reiterate the point that I'm making, which is these aren't any sort of special cards. So one more time, you get a break above the card. In this case, it's the 7 of spades. You could have picked any one of these cards. This isn't one of these trick decks. Notice that I say that as I lift up all the cards above the break, turn it over, and begin to spread it. Now, with my left hand, I'm going to put my thumb underneath, which is going to allow me to spread these cards as well. Now, here is the part that is very important. You're going to place, remember, the card that you're going to control to the top is going to be the lowermost card of the packet in your left hand. So when you spread these cards like this, the left-handed packet has to go below the right-handed packet as you turn everything up. So I'm going to keep that card face up just for the sake of explanation. So here, this person touched this card. I'm going to square this up. So you could have touched any one of these cards. This isn't one of those trick packs where all the cards are the same. You had a free choice. And you see that completes the pass itself. So one more time, lifting up, Stuart Gordon, turning this one over, spreading it, turning this one over and spreading it, and coalescing it so that this packet, which is the left-handed packet, goes underneath the right-handed packet. Everything gets revolved in the right hand, and that has controlled the card in a very, very simple and efficient fashion. So where could you use the move other than in a control? Well, you could use it for any card at any number and for an open prediction. So let's say our open prediction is going to be the 7 of spades. We're going to cut that card somewhere in the middle. Of course, the spectator doesn't know this. Your secret setup is that the 7 of spades is on top. You're going to cut that card somewhere in the middle, and that's pretty much it. You're separating the halves with a break, and now you're ready to go for this particular handling of the open prediction. You can openly state that the card we're going for here is the 7 of spades, or you can have it in a prediction set aside. You're going to take the cards and deal them face up onto the table, just like this, wherever the spectator calls stop. Or if you want, you can actually have them name any number and you deal down to that number. So in this case, let's say they happen to call stop over here. You go, are you sure? Because had you stopped anywhere sooner, it would have been one of these cards. As a matter of fact, any one of these could have been a card that you would have stopped at, but you stopped right here, sir. Let's just deal that card face down. And now you could go through the process of dealing the rest of the cards face up if you want. Just to reiterate the point, they could have picked any card, and of course this happens to be the 7 of spades. Now you notice that I did the pass halfway into demonstrating that it was a fair selection. So once again, let me just go over that. Keeping a break, separating the halves, dealing the cards face up onto the table, wherever it is they call stop. Let's say they call stop over here. I reiterate the point, spreading the cards on the table, saying they could have stopped on any one of these. As a matter of fact, all the cards are different. Here's where I do the pass. You could have stopped anywhere you wanted, sir, but you stopped right here. And that is the 7 of spades, which happens to be the force card. So you see that this wonderful technique allows for a very, very easy open prediction effect. Same thing within any card at any number sort of style routine where you have the spectator touch a card, in this case 3 of diamonds. If you want, you could spread the cards in this way and have another spectator name any number they want. Let's say they happen to name 13. So you count the cards out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13, we all know the words. Of course, it's going to be a little bit discrepant because you've dealt the 13th card on the table. You really don't want to draw attention to this half yet. So what you do at this point, all the cards are face down. You've dealt 13 cards. You're going to turn over that entire pile on the table and just call attention to it. As you say, you could have stopped anywhere here. You could have named any number. As a matter of fact, each and every single number would have led to a different card. But you happen to say 13. And over here we have the 3 of diamonds, which happens to be the original top card. So you see that you could use this for a very, very simple sort of way to pass the cards without drawing attention to it and without actually resorting to doing a pass itself. So you do a very, very simple variation, which is just pretty much based on subtlety rather than sleight of hand. So this move is a wonderfully effective way to change the position of a card and have any sort of card end up at any sort of number. So it's a very, very useful technique. I'm going to leave you with one little bit of a teaser here as to another application of this in a force. So in Magic, there's a very, very popular force known as the Vernon three-way force, which means that you are going to be cutting packets onto the table and you have the spectators call stop anywhere they want. So this is a timing force. You just cut packets and then you tell the spectator, sir, I want you to just call stop anywhere you want. Usually after 2 beats, they're going to call stop, which is more likely than not going to end up on your break. That's a very, very popular force. It's a timing thing. If you want, we'll discuss it on a future lesson. But for now, what happens if they happen to call stop earlier? So if they happen to call stop over here and you still have cards above your break, well, you could use this pass. So you could have stopped anywhere here. As a matter of fact, you could have had any one of these cards, but you stopped on this particular position, which happens to be the force card and the original top card. So you see, it also works effectively as a force. So this is a very, very useful move, and I only scraped the top of the iceberg with the applications here, but I just want to get you guys thinking. I want to get you guys thinking using this move, using other ways to use moves other than they're presented. In the video on YouTube, I presented it solely as a force. Today, I just want to give you guys a couple of different ways to see the move. And again, a lot of moves have this same sort of idea that you could look at it from other ways and have other applications other than the ones that are intended. So thank you guys for being members of the Card Academy, and I hope to see you on the next lesson.